The world was painted in shades of green and gold, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and pine. Liam, a man whose soul felt most at home amidst the untamed wild, moved with a quiet grace along the forest trail. He was a creature of solitude, finding a profound peace in the rustle of leaves and the distant call of a hawk. It was on such a hike, deep in a part of the woods that felt ancient and hushed, that his life veered irrevocably from its course. A flash of color, wrong and brilliant, caught his eye. It was not the muted hue of a flower or a fungus, but a shimmer of silver and deep blue, like a fallen piece of the twilight sky. He pushed through a thicket of ferns, his breath catching in his throat. There, curled amongst the roots of a great, gnarled oak, was a woman, but she was not a woman like any he had ever seen. Her ears were delicately pointed, peeking through hair the color of spun moonlight. She was dressed in robes of a silken material that seemed to weave starlight into its threads, though one side was torn and darkly stained. Her face, even in unconsciousness, was of an ethereal, heart-stopping beauty, with high cheekbones and a soft, bow-shaped mouth. One of her legs was bent at an unnatural angle, a cruel-looking gash marring the pale skin of her calf. Liam's instincts as a former paramedic kicked in, overriding his awe and disbelief. An elf. He was looking at an elf. He knelt beside her, his hands surprisingly steady as he checked for a pulse. It was there, a faint, fluttering rhythm against his fingertips, like the wing beat of a captive bird. "Hey," he whispered, his voice rough with concern. "Can you hear me?" She didn't stir. Gathering his courage, he worked quickly. He used the clean water from his canteen to wash the wound, then tore a strip from his own shirt to create a makeshift bandage, splinting the leg with a sturdy branch and a length of cord from his pack. As he worked, he was acutely aware of her, the delicate structure of her bones, the impossible softness of her skin, the faint, floral scent that clung to her, like night-blooming jasmine. He knew he couldn't leave her. With immense care, he lifted her into his arms. She was lighter than he expected, as if woven from air and dreams. Carrying her the 2 miles back to his secluded cabin was the most profound journey of his life. Every step was taken with a protectiveness that felt both new and ancient, as if some long dormant part of him had been waiting for this very moment. He laid her in his own bed, the quilt looking humble and coarse against her radiance. For 3 days he tended to her. He cleaned her wound, applied poultices of healing herbs he knew from the forest, and spoon-fed her sips of broth and water. He talked to her, his voice a low, steady murmur in the quiet room. He told her about the woods, the names of the constellations he could see from his window, silly stories from his childhood,